Hey, Coach, welcome. So glad you found us on YouTube. Let me know how I can help. As you can see, I've won lots of championships. I've won my fair share of balls behind. Run one of the best high school programs in the country. Coached a bunch of NBA guys. Let me help you become a better basketball coach. This video is just one small piece. Let me mentor you. Teachhoops.com. Click down below or above. We'll help you do that. It is the one-stop shopping for basketball coaches. But the best part is you get a Yoda, you get a mentor. I will help you. You'll get my personal email address. You will get one-on-one calls, office hours, you name it. We will help you become a better basketball coach. Enjoy. Hey, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops 2025.
What a year, Coach. What a year.
What a year. I know. It's going to be a great
Or
year
if you're
for
listening to this
Coaching Youth
out
Hoops.
of context or out of order,
Yeah, well, then
right?
you know when it went initially published. It's going to be a great year for Coaching Youth Hoops. Telling
A
you.
lot of new stuff coming.
A lot of new stuff. Super excited. Coach and I are going to be meeting and having our semi-annual business meeting. We're going to change
Looking
the
forward
world
to
and
it.
help 1 million players.
That's right. Yeah, we don't want to lose sight of our mission.
Our mission. But before we jump into our podcast today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Coach.
Coaches, yeah, go check out Game Changer. Truly is a game changer. gc.com/coaching youth hoops. You get get full stats on every game. You also get a film breakdown. It is truly your assistant coach. Gives you everything you need to get a little insight on your team and how your team is performing, and then you can make adjustments with those practice plans at your next practice. Again, gc.com/coaching youth hoops. And
Work.
speaking of coaching youth hoops, go check out our new tool. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/drills. We wanted to create a resource for you to help you find drills, plays, etc. that you have some struggles in the game. You want quick, easy things to fix those few items, and we created a tool that will help you solve those problems. So you'll answer a few questions. We'll give you our suggestions on things we've used in the past based on your answers. Pretty simple to use, coaches, but we would love your feedback on it. It is a new tool. We're going to be perfecting it over time. So the more data you provide, the better that tool will become. Again, go check that out at coachingyouthhoops.com/drills.
Let's do it. All right. What's today's topic, Coach?
Today, we're going to talk about adapting practices based on game performance. So I just looked at my game changer film. I need to make some adjustments. So there's quite a few adjustments you could potentially make. But let's think in terms of, the most important adjustments. You're coming off a close game. You had film session just a couple days ago, yesterday, and it's fresh in your mind. So
yeah, so it is. Yeah, and I would not recommend to the youth coaches to do anything that I did as far
no,
as
of course not. Yeah.
as adjusting, because we had like an hour 20 film session after our loss. And anyway, don't do that.
Don't do
ever do that.
that.
I don't normally do that, but I was telling Coach a third of my team is out with the flu, so I was down to 10 guys and I had to spread them out. And anyway, so that's the only reason I believe in really short film sessions. But so adapting practice is really important. Like adapting what you do is important. And it takes a lot of self-reflection. It takes a lot of non-ego. I mean, Coach knows I've won a lot of games, and I think I'm a horrible coach. I mean, I really do. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that I got to get better at, and I've been doing this for 35 years. I just do. I mean, I overplayed. We lost by 1 point on a last second shot with about 6 seconds to go.
And I played that over 17 times of what I could have done, and
Yeah,
me, not
yeah.
the kids, me. And now I did do one right thing. I did tell the official I wanted a timeout if they scored, and my kid threw the ball away to them. um, Grabbed it real quick, stepped out of bounds, and threw it in, and they got it, but the timeout was by the official. But anyway, so that's the only good. I will give myself that. I did do that. But I I think what I have done, and this was a couple days later, I've gone and said, all right, we need to work on this. We're not screening in our offense. So, okay, I got to break down, why aren't we screening?
Hmm.
I
Right.
I know defensively, couple of my two or three of my players are having a hard time, which I referred to as guarding their yard. They're opening their stance too much. And I showed them on the film, like the difference between a squared stance and an open stance. And in our league, if you have an open stance, it's going to be two dribbles and you might get dunked on. So it's got to be a little bit more closed. So it's like some of these nuances that I have seen in film over the last game are things that I can now go to practice. And we did it. After the film session, we went down and we worked on some small sided stuff. We worked on containing the dribble and guarding their yard. We worked on some, how do you set a screen up? What does a good screen look like? How do you fight off of that screen? Let's When do you fake a screen and slip to the basket? Because that's a great read for some kids, or in any offense. So I'm always evaluating that. And that's where Game Changer would come in really handy if you're a youth
Yeah.
coach, as far as filming it and then watching it. Because it's virtually, from someone that's done it a really long time, it's virtually impossible to do that. There's 10,000 things that happen in a basketball game, and you're going to see six of them. I mean, I didn't even know my guy threw the ball away until I watched it on the film. Like, because I knew I had the timeout. The official gave it to me. Nothing was blah blah blah. But I didn't even I saw. It's like, oh my god! I screamed that night when I was watching it in the house. My wife thought someone was
Well,
breaking
yeah, your
in.
wife came down. What's wrong?
So it was like, well, Jesus, and the kid that did it is like, I was teasing him the next day, and his head went down. He was shaking his head. But from it's like anything. It's like I do this in my teaching. Like I teach the same class first hour, third hour, and fourth hour. I have second hour off. Well, second hour is like, well, that didn't work first hour. I evaluate, I readjust. This has got to go here. That's got to go there. You said this wrong. You spent too much time on this. Now, as I'm getting older, sometimes I forget what I said in which class period, but that's just age. Uh, did I tell you that story yet? But
Yeah,
anyway,
only 10 times, coach.
10
Only 10
times,
times, right?
you know. But I think that's part of it, as far as being a good coach and being a good teacher, is evaluating those specific things, and it will make you better. It's the mental part of the game, which leads into our other sponsor, Coach, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, coaches, go check out coachingyouthhoops.com/health. This was a tool that I wanted, and I wanted to bring this to our listeners. Um, it is basically it's an assessment. We talk a lot about X's and O's on this podcast, but we don't, because it's something that maybe that we're not experienced with. It was the mental side, the nutritional side, right? The injury prevention side. So Curve is offering free assessments for our coaches. So go check it out at coachingyouthhoops.com/health to get an assessment of your team as far as where they stand on the nutritional side, their sleep habits, their mental, their state, the mental state. This will provide you some aggregate data so you can make adjustments, or so even just like Game Changer is providing data on the court, this is going to provide data with your individuals that you could then make adjustments as needed to to have a happier, well-rounded team and potentially gain that edge, sneak out a few more wins just because the kids are in the right state of mind and you're going to know exactly what to do. It's
Right.
free for coaches. Uh, the kids will also have access to trained professionals they can have conversations with over text completely vetted, safe app for kids. They can't sign up without their parents. So go to, again, coachingyouthhoops.com/health for more information.
Okay, perfect. So what's your thought on it, Coach? I was rambling there, so I wanted to stop myself and throw in curve there because we love curve. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, prior to having Game Changer, it was always kind of just based on memory. Oh, we had to do a few things here and there. But now with Game Changer, I can go back and review the film and see exactly the couple things that we need to work on, and then make the needed adjustments to our small-sided games. Emphasize, oh yeah, we're not setting screens correctly, right? So, make sure I get the fundamentals of screening down, or hey, our passes are a little off. How can we work on our passing? Uh, so you don't want to do too much too quickly. You want to take a thing or two, but your practices now with the technology that's out there, you can change them and adapt them based on what you're seeing on film. Game Changer has really made it affordable, free, for coaches. And this is
Right.
really not a pitch, not necessarily just a pitch for Game Changers. This is just a pitch for using the tools that are available to you. In As coach said, coach thinks he's a bad coach because he cares so much about the kids. And if you're listening to this, if you're a serious coach, so I know you also care about the performance and performance of your team and the individuals on that team.
No, I mean the loss is just like, I mean, you and I
They
haven't
eat at
talked
you.
about
Yeah.
well, and the problem is I love this group. I love this group. I
Mhm.
love these guys, and I just
Yeah.
want them to I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
Anyway, that's the hard part is you just grow this, connection, and it's like you spend
Y-
so much time
Yeah.
together that it's like, and they're in my room. I mean, again, because I have food in my room all the time. They're in my room all the time.
I bet. Yeah. And
Um,
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. But
it's hard.
again, I think the lesson here is use technology,
Yes.
and then, but don't use it to where, the next day you
Nice.
have to teach 10 new drills because
Right.
you changed it, right? Take your drills that you have and adapt them to the needs of what you found in the film.
Yes.
We've talked about this throughout the podcast, which is, have a few drills for every category: offense, defense, transition to offense, transition to defense, then change the
Right.
constraints, then of those drills based on what the film is telling you.
Right.
And that way you're going to have an efficient practice. You're not teaching the kids new drills, you're just emphasizing a different thing in that particular drill.
Right.
And that
No,
can
I agree.
change every single practice.
Every practice, all the time. Just in, we do the no dribble offense thing a lot just because we dribble too much. So I go the opposite way with that just to kind of teach them some of those basic skills. But all right, anything else, coach?
No,
All right.
just go check out gc.com/coaching youth hoops. That's the first part to start your new dynamic practice
It is.
plans.
It will help. It will help.
It will
All right.
help.
Till next week, coach.
Hey, coach, I'm glad you enjoyed that video. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com is one way that I can do that. I have coached at every level, won lots of championships, lots of rings. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach on and off the court. So check out teachhoops.com for that.